Hey, everybody. Good evening. Happy Thursday. And I am so glad that you are back here for DC Live. Tonight is going to be so much fun. I have been looking forward to this for weeks, actually, when I first knew that this was going to be a possibility. But we are going to be talking with two really, really inspiring and cool businesses that are here in Wisconsin that were featured on Shark Tank. So we are going to the tank, which is going to be so much fun. First, I want to say hi to a few people. Hi, Linda, Karen, good to see you. Hi, Adam. So glad that everybody is here. I definitely want to make sure that all of you enjoy the show, but also share with your friends. Make sure that you give us your comments, like the broadcast, share the broadcast. I know you're going to love tonight's conversation with our very special guests from Hug, Sleep, and Just the Cheese. We're going to get started in just a little bit. I do want to give a couple of quick shout outs. One, I know that we're all reading on Facebook and social media about the amazing and beloved Cicely Tyson, who passed away at the age of 96. I just saw an interview with her and Gayle King on CBS this morning, just, I believe, like 2 days ago. I know it was, pre-recorded, but she was looking great and super inspiring. So God bless. And it was so cool to see so many amazing performances of hers. I want to give a shout out to two good friends. Happy birthday to Ryan J. and also Jamie. Happy birthday. I'll spare everyone the singing. And I also am so excited because this fits in with our Shark Tank entrepreneur theme tonight. But my adorable niece, Harmony Grace Stemper, she, over Christmas, gave Adam and I this great Christmas gift. Uncle David, Uncle Adam, Merry Christmas. And she then worked on this gift, and I want to tell you what it was. We both got a card that we had to fill out because she wanted to make us bow ties. So she had fabric samples. We had to circle which fabric we wanted for the main bow, and then a pattern to put in the middle. So we had to go through and circle everything. You can see the color options at the bottom for some of the pattern colors. Circle one, please. So we each got our forms. Adam and I filled them out. And then today, she dropped off this beautiful package. It says Harmony's Bow Ties. So great. And then I wanted to open it with all of you tonight because I think this is so much fun. She first, she put DNA there, which one's David, which one's Adam. And then here are the bow ties. Isn't that fun? I think these are so cool. They're hard to see, but they are a little, each of them is a little bit different. You can see Adam's polka dots there. And she has the pin on back. So a shout out to Harmony. I think Harmony's bow ties might just be coming up on Shark Tank. We'll see, but she can do it. That much I know. So cute. So thanks, Harmony Grace. We love that. And I also wanted to show you guys, this was so great. Today, I had the absolute pleasure of getting a great tour. And I'm so excited to see this development come to life. This is the community within the corridor. I had a tour today with some colleagues and friends. This is at 33rd and Center, and it was once home to Briggs and Stratton. What's so amazing, it is 6 buildings, part of this grouping, and 400,000 square feet of space, and it's a $60 million project. It is so unbelievable. And I saw this space and I was like, I need to do a party here. This is going to be part of their workout facility, gymnasium, a bunch of basketball courts. But keep your eye out for this, the community within the corridor. So, so great. Last thing I wanted to show you before we get started with our show. These are 2 amazing new things that are on stylebydc.com. And I just love these. And I think right now is such a great time. This is the Hold On to Hope and the Free to Inspire pouch. These are great for like travel bags, makeup bags, even just like carry all things. And they're part of the Tote project. Each one, I'm just going to show you on the inside too, is all of the patterns are different. These great, every pole fabric is different, and 10% of the gross profits go to Two Wings. And what's so cool is that Two Wings is a nonprofit organization that uses education, mentoring, and life coaching to empower at-risk youth and survivors of sex trafficking to pursue their dreams. So definitely check out at stylebydc.com. These are two of my favorite things, the Free to Inspire and the Hope Pouch. I hope you guys love it. So we are going to move on with our great guest tonight. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. Oh, my mom's here. Hey, Mom, thanks for tuning in tonight. Glad that you're here as well. So my first two guests, this is so great. I know many of you have seen them. I've already gotten some notes of people anticipating their appearance here tonight because you love their product. So I am going to bring into the stream from Hug Sleep, Matt Mundt and Angie Kupper. They are a husband and wife team. Hey guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you.
And you guys are streaming in with us from Brookfield, right?
Yep.
We are, yeah.
Good, good. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know that so many people are kind of excited, not only to hear a bit about your experience on Shark Tank and kind of life after being in the tank, but what was so neat about this is that when we first kind of got to know you guys and Hug Sleep, was kind of out of the blue, which really was intriguing to me. And it was so great to see that you are right here in our fine state of Wisconsin and the Milwaukee area. So tell us first, this is what I'm curious about first, is what is your professional background? I'm really curious about that. Matt, tell us a little bit about kind of your professional background.
Yeah, so I'm a mechanical engineer. And I was able to work with some pretty cool companies in the area. Harley Davidson was one of them. So yeah, it was kind of a weird transition to go from working on engines with motorcycles to sleep pods, or some of our customers refer to as adult swaddles.
That's so cool. And Angie, how about you? What is your background?
Yeah, I'm a therapist. So I work with kids and adolescents with severe anxiety and OCD. And I've been working for Rogers Behavioral Health for 10 years now.
Wow, very, very cool. So you both are super busy in other ways too, because I know especially Angie, you probably had a full day doing something else, right?
Yeah, so I'm still working full time in my role as a therapist, and I'm also working full time for Hug Sleep.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Two full-time jobs is a big, big thing to balance. So kudos to you guys. I think that's great. Teresa from Milwaukee Food and City Tours is here. Good to see you, Teresa. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, and she said, and we'll tell David this later, but they started including just the cheese products in their gift boxes. That's great. Awesome. Okay, so Hug Sleep. Tell us, who came up with the idea? Was it one of you first?
It was all him.
Yeah. So I can kind of jump into it. So I've always had difficulty sleeping ever since I was a little kid. Just general restlessness, having difficulty just kind of quieting my mind and falling asleep. So I've always been on the lookout for tips and tricks and products to just improve my overall quality of sleep. So several years ago, I heard about weighted blankets like the rest of the world. And I thought maybe this pressure, from a weighted blanket would really kind of be this solution to what I've been looking for. So I got a weighted blanket and I tried it out, and it brought on this sense of calm that I was looking for. And I was really excited to go to sleep later that night. But unfortunately, I kind of quickly ran to the all too common list of complaints with weighted blankets. They overheat, they're difficult to wash, you can't travel with them, and they're expensive. So I found this really expensive weighted blanket after just a few weeks, folded up on the floor of my closet, just never to be used again. But that initial feeling was so promising. So again, I'm an engineer, so I'm no stranger to creating solutions to problems. So I really looked into the science, and after a lot of trial and error, I kind of came up with what is Sleep Pod, the product that we sell through Hug Sleep.
Wow, that's so cool. So this is like the true story of, everyone thinks, I know we watch Shark Tank, and I always say, like, can we just come up with something? I mean, there's something that people need. What are we missing? But it really is the true testament that it was something that was personal for you. It was something that what you knew would help other people, and you had the talent and the skills to kind of take those next steps. That is so, so cool. And like you said, people describe it, it's kind of like a baby swaddle for adults. It definitely has, some people, like you mentioned, think of it like a alternative, a very good alternative to the weighted blanket. And I agree with you. What Angie had dropped one off here. And one of the things that I loved first was that it's so easy to travel with. It comes in great packaging. It's super simple to keep, clean and packed. It's so soft and like thin for packing. I love that as someone who does business travel in the normal time. But that's definitely a bonus. I wanted to read this too, to give people a sense of how it is described. Sleep Pod applies gentle pressure around your entire body, simulating the feeling of being hugged, which everyone loves a good hug. This helps reduce stress and give you a better night's sleep. Very cool. I'm going to show people, I'm bringing this video into stream just so that everyone can have a good view of kind of what the pod is like, or the Sleep Pod is like. And as we talk about this, Angie, after he came up with the idea, kind of what was your response?
Initially, I laughed only because I walked in from work and he was on our living room floor, wrapped in fabric and safety pinned. So I had no idea what he was doing. But after he kind of explained the concept and he got his first prototypes and he had me try it, I loved it. Also, being a therapist, I knew about weighted blankets, I knew about deep touch pressure therapy, and I knew about the benefits of having that gentle, calm pressure on the body, especially with my work with people with anxiety disorders. So I don't even know that he considered that initially. He was, again, just trying to solve his own problem, but I was able to give him a little bit more insight into how many people might benefit from this.
Wow, that is so cool, because I love that it kind of was his idea, and then it naturally was something that you could easily be passionate about too, because of what you just mentioned. So how was that for you, Matt, when she was equally as excited? Were you afraid that maybe the response wouldn't be so great? So I'm sure that was a blessing.
Yeah, Hug Sleep was really just a side hustle. I had a full-time job, and I just, I didn't have as much fulfillment from that 9 to 5 as I had hoped. And I'd come home at night, kind of bored, I can watch TV and waste my time. I thought, maybe I should take this idea and just try to develop it. And I didn't really think it would go anywhere. And really, again, it was just born out of necessity to solve my own problems. Again, just helping to develop it, Angie was incredibly important. And that feedback that she was able to provide as a professional in this space was just incredibly valuable.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the fabric and what really makes it so great and something that so many people just love. I'm going to show some pictures. One of the things I love about it is that it's not just for sleeping. You can be like this, cozy, reading a book, enjoying the fire, hanging out on the couch, watching TV, in bed, sleeping. So it definitely has a lot of uses in general. But tell us a little bit about the fabric and what makes it so different.
Yeah, so it's this really specialized material where, and you can attest to this, it's just incredibly soft. It's just buttery soft, but it has these great properties. So it's very breathable. So I'm someone who sleeps really hot, and with weighted blankets, they just trap heat like crazy. So that was number one on my list. Just, if you are someone who is normally cold, you can still bring a pillow or a cover on top. So the material is really soft, it's really breathable, but it's also very stretchy. It's got this 4-way stretch material. So it really does kind of conform to your body. And as you mentioned, it really does simulate this feeling of being hugged or cuddled. So with a weighted blanket, it really applies the pressure in one dimension, and it kind of just presses down. With Sleep Pod, it really wraps around your entire body and really kind of, again, simulates that feeling of being hugged.
Wow, that's so cool. Now, I think if I read correctly, you guys started actually then selling the product in March of 2019, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So we're coming up on 2 years.
yeah, I mean, so it actually is still quite new. And you started with about $2,500 in savings, I think, that I had read, and generated just in a short 16 months about $490,000 in sales. Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
Yeah, yeah. Again, it was just this side hustle, just something that I would, spend 10, 20 hours a week doing. And when we kind of finalized the prototype, I came to Angie and I said, okay, I kind of want to start selling these things. And, we're millennials with student loan debt and we have a lot of bills. And she said, okay, you got 2,500 bucks and that's it. That's all you get to start this business. So I was like, all right, that's a good challenge. So it was a lot of sweat equity, just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and just putting the work in. And
Wow.
after 16 months in business, when we were pitching to the Sharks, we had done just under $500,000 in sales. And most of those sales just came from me cold emailing journalists out of the blue saying, hey, I'm this kid from Milwaukee. I got this weird product. I think you might like it. And if you send out enough emails, eventually someone will respond. So
Yeah.
every 100 emails I'd send out, 99 wouldn't respond, but one would give me a chance. And that's how we grew the business.
Wow, I love that part of it. And before we get into Shark Tank, there's two more things I want to talk about. One of which is a little bit more of your story, Angie. But related to what you just said, Matt, it was to me, I always feel like even when it comes to Shark Tank, that they always respond better to the people that they can tell are like authentically passionate and like care about whatever it is they're trying to get a deal on. And I think like your example of just really hitting the pavement, sending out those emails, just even my first interaction with seeing you guys, I could tell like I really wanted to try it because it was so authentically genuine about how you were, talking about it and encouraging people to try it, which is cool. Now, Patrick already says that he wants to try one. So I was going to ask you later, but is the best way for people that are watching us to go on to either your website or Amazon? What is the best way?
Yeah, our website, hugsleep.com. Everything is back in stock, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, the demand after Shark Tank. But everything is back in stock now, and if you place an order today, you should be receiving it in the next few business days. So hugsleep.com is the best place to go. Okay,
guys, hugsleep.com. I want to see you there. Patrick, you let me know. I want to see a post on social media of you in that Hug Sleep. I know you can make a really good quality video, Patrick. So let's see it.
Yeah.
Hey, Rick, good to see you. He saw the Shark Tank episode, so he's excited to see you guys. Now, Angie, I read this from you, and I just loved it. You said, I personally benefit from the sleep pod because one of my best memories from childhood was being tucked in by my mom every night. And I know that one of the stories you shared in the tank was about losing your mom to suicide when you were 17 years old. And I can imagine that that really does play into your passion for this as well. How did that influence your desire to really make this go?
Yeah, I mean, losing my mom was actually the reason I pursued a psychology degree. That's why I got into therapy. And then after he came up with this idea, it was kind of that light bulb that there's so many people out there who are alone and need a sense of comfort. There's so many people out there who are dealing with anxiety and insomnia, which we also know is another huge risk factor for suicide. PTSD is also something that a lot of people with PTSD do benefit from deep touch pressure therapy and just feeling comforted and feeling secure. And so personally, I felt like this was something we had to bring to the market because there were so many people who really needed other options when it comes to being able to feel safe and secure.
Yeah, I think that is just a really amazing way to carry on some of that which you love about your mom and how she impacted your life. Now, I also wanted to get to, and I just realized that I was missing something in my printouts, but it's okay because we could just talk through it. But I was looking on Amazon, and there are some really, really great, sorry, I just cut you guys off, some really, really great reviews that people have. And I just want to make sure, because right now I can't read this because it's too far away from me. And I did print it out earlier, but hopefully our viewers can take a look, because what so many people that have purchased your product before are saying is exactly that. From what you have described, it definitely is. Some people say it changes their lives. It just saves them from people that have never been able to get a good long sleep to suddenly being able to have that, which we know influences our health in so many beneficial ways. And it was so cool to read some of these product reviews, because it really is so impactful for people. And I think, how much does it cost?
So currently it's on sale for $79.99 with free shipping in the United States.
Yeah, so think about, that price for something that so many people think is just absolutely life-changing. And the one thing, I was also talking to some people about it and reading as well, that it also changes people's relationships, because they are so much more like feeling good, they're well rested, they're happier, they're more energetic, and it really has done some great things for people's relationships too. So I loved reading those reviews. Is it fun for you to look and see those great reviews too?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really chaotic and very busy for us ever since we launched, and ever since we were on Shark Tank. So one of the things that we really look forward to, though, is when we're answering all of these emails, the amazing feedback that we're getting.
Yeah.
So when we're hearing that we saved someone's life or changed someone's life, or that they're finally getting sleep, it's really rewarding, and it gives us that extra push when we are feeling tired, when we are feeling stressed. It reminds us why we're doing this.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, somebody does have a question, and it was one of mine too, and I might be something moving forward. So right now, this is like a steel gray is the fabric color. Are there any thoughts of doing different colors down the road, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have the heather gray color, and we've had a decent amount of requests of people just inquiring about new colors. So it's on our radar, and hopefully stay tuned, and you'll see if it's in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's cool. And basically, it's different. It's just different sizes, right?
Yeah. So right now we offer 3 sizes: small, medium, and large, which fits the vast majority of adults out there. Again, we have some exciting plans in the very near future that we can't announce just yet. You'll see that we're going to be accommodating even more types of sleepers.
Wow, that's so great. Well, we're excited. We're going to be watching. That's good to know. Okay, so let's get to the tank. First of all, how did this come to be? How did you get on the show?
Yeah, so I kind of grew up watching Shark Tank, and if you would have told me even just a few years ago that I'd be on the show, pitching to these sharks, I wouldn't believe it. So early in 2020, we got an email from someone on the show that says, "Hey, we like what you guys are doing. Would you be interested?" And I thought it was a scam. Come on, this isn't real. And I reluctantly responded, thinking like, all right, no, someone's going to steal my information or something,
Yeah.
And the guy responded, and it turned out to be legit. So they actually asked us to be on the show, or at least audition for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of part of the process.
Wow, that's so cool. Did you have a virtual audition? Was it something you did in person? How was that?
Yeah. So because of COVID, things were different. So we
Right.
just did submissions and got feedback and kind of just worked through that process.
Wow, that's so cool. Okay, Angie. So when you walked in on set to the tank, like, what were you feeling? What was that like for you?
Oh, I was terrified. I was so nervous. And we've been watching the show our whole lives. It's such a great show, and it was a dream come true to get there. But then you have to make sure that you say everything you need to say. It really is real. You just
Yeah.
you have to be able to remember things. It's like the biggest moment of your life, and it also came after 2 weeks of isolation. So
Yeah.
it was quite stressful and really exciting at the same time.
Wow, such a process. And did you kind of come up with your own pitch? Do you do it kind of yourself, or does somebody help you with it? What was that like?
Yeah, no, it's all us. So
Mhm.
it is the real deal. Everything you see in there, there's nothing is scripted. It's the real deal. So yeah, we
Yeah.
came up a lot. During 2020, there was a lot of working from home and a lot of quarantine. So we had a good amount of time to practice and kind of refine the pitch.
Yeah, I was feeling for you guys because I always think, because I'm honestly not a great memorizer. And so for me too, like I always get nervous when people are in like intense situations and like, these really people that are about to maybe change your life are staring at you and you've got TV cameras and you have to memorize and say it. So,
Yeah.
cheers to you guys because that is like super, super intense. What I'm curious, for whatever you can tell us, what was taping the show like? How long did it take? Was it pretty easy, or were you surprised at how long and in depth it took?
If what you see on TV is obviously kind of edited and shortened. So we were in there for about an hour or so, which seems to be pretty standard. But again, it was just this incredible experience that changed our lives, and to be there pitching, some of the five, most original sharks was incredible.
Yeah, you guys had a really great cast there, group of sharks, like you said, some of the most recognizable. Somebody just asked if they're easy to wash, and I know that is one of the really cool benefits of this.
Yeah.
How easy are they to wash?
As easy as the rest of your clothing. You just throw it in the wash machine, throw it in the dryer. There's really no specialized instructions. You don't have to launder it. Um, you know, Pretty standard.
Yeah, and Linda asked us that. So Linda, I can tell you from feeling this, knowing you're gonna love how this feels. You really will. And knowing that it can easily just be washed so along with everything else is because I don't like stuff that you have to do separately or bring it to the dry cleaner. But so you're in luck. And hi, Judy, good to see you from Connecticut. Okay, back to the tank. Now, you guys asked for a $150,000 investment in exchange for 10% of the company, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the other area where, I sit on the couch and I'm like, how do you know what to do? Like how to say, and then they're coming back at you and want to offer something else. I mean, I love, like, obviously you have very, very sharp minds. I would have been like a fumbling, dork standing up there and like needed someone in my ear to tell me what to do. So, but that was the offer. Now, as the process was going, this was like one of my favorite things, and I've been wanting to ask you guys this for a couple of weeks now. I'm going to put this in the stream, but we can talk over it because there's no sound to it. But so. What everybody was watching and what ended up happening is that Robert thought that he would love to try on the sleep pod. So we can all see him getting in there. He's in the bed, and then it all just falls apart. And Robert gets up and falls off the bed and gets like a bloody nose or something happened where he was bleeding. So when that happened, Matt, what were you thinking? Like, I mean, I know it was COVID, so you're like not running over there to help him, which was probably kind of odd too. But what were you thinking when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just rolled my eyes because it was he kind of did it on purpose, a little bit, and just to ham it up for the cameras. But I don't think he thought he was gonna hit his nose on anything. So
Yeah.
you want to rush over there and help them, but you got to socially distance. But luckily, you kind of see Mark Cuban's response afterwards, like, look what we have to deal with, in terms of Robert. So everyone was kind of laughing about it. Luckily, he didn't really get hurt all that badly. He was able to wipe it off. And we were able to proceed. But for a while there, I was pretty terrified and didn't know, which direction it was going to go next.
Yeah. I just want to put it out there for people because I had this on last night. Like, like Matt said, it was kind of a little bit more dramatic than, it needed to be for a little TV moment. But, don't think that you can't get used to it, because you definitely have to be a little careful as you're getting used to it. But don't think that you're going to fall out of the bed like he did when you try your first pod. So that was really funny. And it actually, was something that I think surprised him too. You could see, I don't think he was expecting to get a bloody nose.
Yeah, he was surprised.
Oh, wow. Hey, you guys, look. Patrick ordered. Yay, Patrick.
Very good.
That's so cool. So thanks, Patrick. We can't wait to see. Abby, good to see you. Abby Miller, glad that you guys are here. She said, hey, Angie.
Hi, Abby. Thank you.
So fun. Okay, so now then there was a bidding war. And this is one of the things that I just loved about your experience on the take, because again, like to feel that all coming at you and the response that you were getting, but it was with all the sharks, like literally every single shark. So Angie, when those were coming at you, how was that? Like, did you expect them all, literally all of them, to make offers?
No, we definitely didn't. We were taken aback. I mean, we were excited, but it was also really stressful because that's a huge decision to make. I think we kind of went into it saying, we'll be lucky if we get a deal. And we ended up having so many to choose from that we were a little overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, to say the least, I'm sure. And then ultimately, it was Mark and Lori, right? Together?
Yep.
So Mark and Lori came into the deal together. And did it start out that way? Or I can't remember. Or did you kind of guide them to come together?
Yeah, we did. So kind of as you said, we got a lot of offers, one from every shark. And then Mark said, look, I'll give you 150 for 10%, but I'd rather do 300 for 20%. And then as soon as he said that, every shark said, yeah, I'll do that too. I'll do that too. And everyone matched it. So we were just, as you said, just overwhelmed with what was happening. Before we went into the set, we had said, okay, privately, what's our ideal situation? If the stars align and we get super lucky, what's the best outcome? And we said, if we could get a deal with Mark and Lori together, that would just be incredible. So when we were there, and everyone was kind of on the same page, we said, Mark and Lori, would you guys come in together? And they agreed. And that just, sealed it for us. The other three sharks tried coming together and said, three's better than two. But, we had our hearts set on Mark and Lori.
Wow, that's so cool. So it was really the ideal situation came to life, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, so I know that, things are super busy, chaotic, but real quickly, if you could describe life after being in the tank and getting this deal. Well, so as you said, it was a $300,000 investment in exchange for 20%. So life after the Shark Tank, real quick, what has it kind of been like for you guys, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, it's exploded. I'll put it that way. We obviously knew there was going to be a bump in sales, bump in traffic, and everything like that. And we did our best to prepare. We worked with Mark and Lori to get the best idea for forecasts and estimates. But it exceeded everyone's expectations by an order of magnitude. So, it really resonated with a lot of people. Again, I think it's the nature of the product, but also the timing of 2020. All the stress that everyone's been going through in 2020 and even now 2021. But again, we're just so thankful and grateful to have, resonated with so many people and now to be able to help so many people. It's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, that's so cool. And people are so excited for you guys. It's neat to see so many people cheering you on and wanting good things for you guys. And I know that will continue to happen. I'm just curious if you can tell us how much contact do you really have with Mark and Lori now? Yeah,
they're great partners. So they're available 24/7. Mark in particular, he works constantly. He has to. I send him an email at all hours of the day, of the night, in the middle of the night, and he responds like instantly. Wow. It's incredible. And it's always really insightful, great information. So both Mark and Lori and their teams have been just incredibly valuable. And, it wasn't just having them write a check and give us money. It's really the support. We could go to any bank and interest rates are low, but we wanted smart money. And that is what you get with two world-class investors like Mark Cuban and Lori Grenier.
Wow, that's so cool. And it's neat too, because I know that they're like, diehards and really strict business people, but they seem to be really nice people also. So I can imagine that's been a neat kind of shoulder to lean on sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been down this road so many times before. They kind of know what's around every corner. So to be able to ask, seasoned veterans like them, it's again really valuable for us.
I'm curious too, Angie, do you ever like kind of virtually hang out with other people that have gotten deals with them? Or are you kind of like a family now, or not so much?
There's definitely contact, not in person, obviously,
Right.
But it is nice to meet other people who've been in a similar experience who can share some great advice with us too.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I know, just wrapping up now, you hinted at some things coming up, like maybe some different, for different kinds of sleepers, or maybe thinking about colors down the road. Anything else that we should be knowing or watching out for, or those kind of the things that might be in the works?
There's some really, really exciting things that we can't talk about, unfortunately. Hopefully in maybe a few weeks or a month or two, we can have some big announcements, and I'll definitely, let you know. And
cool.
I think
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what's the best way for people to watch you guys so that we can look for those announcements? Where should we be following? I know your website, but how about social media?
Yeah, absolutely. Facebook, Instagram, just type in Hug Sleep and you'll find us. And our website is hugsleep.com. So, go there for all the latest and greatest, and, drop by and say hi.
That's so cool. So hugsleep.com is the place to go. Make sure on Facebook, Instagram, everyone's looking for Hug Sleep. It's fun to see you guys. I'm so glad that we were able to make this connection. And I am so grateful for my Hug Sleep pod here. This is amazing. And I'm just delighted that you guys are having so much success. I know that it doesn't come easily, but sharing your story just proves that it really is neat to see the inspiration behind something that, looks like a product, but really has a lot of heart and soul. So we appreciate you guys joining us tonight on DC Live and telling us all about it. This was so much fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it was a nice break for us.
Yeah, thank you.
I know. I should have told you that, like, what? Well, this is water, but I should have told you guys, like, if you needed a glass of wine or something, it's prime time. So, but thank you so much. Continued blessings. Can't wait to see what's coming up for you guys, and take good care. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, David.
All right. Bye-bye. Next up, this is so cool. Another really great Wisconsin business I'm going to bring into stream. This is from Just the Cheese. Here he is, David, the owner of Just the Cheese. How you doing, David?
Doing all right.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight as well.
Yeah, it's weird because I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, and my wife is expecting our second one next week. So it's just like, we're trying to do everything by the book, and like, hey, try to keep things as normal as possible. It's like, yeah, in the middle of story time, Daddy's got to go do a thing.
Oh, well, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Oh,
Hopefully down the road, some of this stuff will be fun to show your kids when they're older too.
Oh, I'm never showing them any of this stuff. Olivia, my daughter, she saw me on TV and just went berserk, and then she just wanted to watch TV all the time. It's like, oh man.
Oh man.
Is Daddy on TV? I'm like, no, that's probably not ever going to happen again. And then she was sad. So it was a whole thing.
Oh, I can imagine. But, talk about being a young child. This kind of, what's neat about your story is it kind of started when you were a young boy, like around 10. I looked at this picture with your dad, which I know you don't want this shown, I'm sure, but
hey, I put it on national television. What am I going to do? It's on the internet now. I'll never live it down.
I know, but it's so cool. It's such a good part of the story. So tell us, how did this really all get started? Kind of take us back to the time of your life when you were 10, and how did this kind of come into your mind to get started?
So as a kid, I just liked eating. So when you make a grilled cheese sandwich and the cheese melts off in the pan and gets crunchy, like, I just liked that part a lot. And so since my dad owned a cheese company. I was like, hey, Dad, why can't you just make the cheese like this? And we have some very talented cheesemakers, and my dad being an entrepreneur, they sort of figured it out. And so in the late 90s, they figured out a way to bake cheese.
Wow.
And because it was the 90s, so the cheese itself didn't taste very good, but because it was the 90s, they just dumped a bunch of artificial flavoring on it, and no big deal. And it became a huge hit with the Atkins fad. It was one of the top sellers in the Atkins catalog. It was a national distribution. And then as soon as the Atkins fad crashed, so did the product.
Right.
So then you sort of fast forward to 2017, and I was doing. So I've had an eclectic career. I've started 4 businesses.
I was reading, you've been not only in Wisconsin, but your career has taken you to Virginia, China, the Philippines, New York City. You met your wife, Connie. And like you said, it was kind of along that journey in New York, I think in New York City, when you guys were looking at a bag of cheese snacks.
Yep. So Connecticut, but close enough. It's all New York Metro. So yeah, we saw a bag of what is now one of our competitors, and we're like, hey, that's pretty close to what Dad used to do. I wonder if we could tweak it and make it better. And so we sort of dialed in remote and sort of talked through like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? What if you did this? And my wife redesigned the package. And so about 6 months later, we had a new formulation and a new package. And instead of little chips, we did bars. Because when we were baking it, some of the piece sizes are thick and some of them are skinny. And we all kind of like the thick ones, and figured out, well, everyone else is doing chips. Why don't we just do bars? And so, yeah, that was basically it. I was still working in consulting. So
That's so cool.
It was kind of like, hey, this can be a side hustle and see how it goes.
That's so cool. Now, are they made in Reesville? Is that where the factory is still today?
Yep. So Reesville, Wisconsin is just sort of the little corner of Dodge County. It's about 12 miles east of Columbus. So it's an hour northeast of Madison or an hour northwest of Milwaukee. And yeah, it used to be the middle school until there weren't enough kids in the town anymore because it's sort of this rural flight. And my dad got in a bidding war with with Vince McMahon and the WWF. They wanted to turn it into a training center. Vince McMahon actually outbid my dad and then started nickel and diming the town. And the town got sick of it and went back to him and said, hey, we'll even give you a discount on what you offered us. Just we don't want to work with these guys.
Wow. Yeah, our friend Pete Cooney. Do you know Pete from Pete's Pops? He was curious about
Pete's Pops. He was at my factory a week or two ago. We outgrew our flow wrapper, the packaging machine that wraps the bars, and Pete's got a growing little business, and hopefully he buys it from me.
Oh, nice. Oh, Pete, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. So, tell me about what your product line includes. So you talked about the bars. Tell us a little bit. I'm going to show this video in the stream while we're talking, and it will kind of give people a little bit of an idea too about your product. But tell us kind of, what does the product line include?
So a separate story is I hate this video a lot.
Oh.
So this is one where Paul's my dad, and he has a really, really traditional corporate marketing background. And we wanted to have like a product intro video. And this is what happens when someone with, like corporate marketing background doesn't have a big budget. And it's just like, it just doesn't make any sense in like a digital marketing strategies. Just like, what is, okay, just whatever. Just, you made it.
Just go with it. He wanted to use it.
So we shred the cheese. We make the cheese in house. We shred it up, put it in little cookie cutter molds, and bake it in an oven, and that's it. And so there's 2 bars in a package. Our top seller is aged cheddar. Second best, your favorite, is grilled cheese, and then jalapeno.
Yes.
We're trying to roll out a Parmesan flavor this year.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, if you like cheese, I feel very good that you will like this product
Yeah.
because that's the only thing in it. If you like strong flavors, it's aged cheddar. If you like milder flavors, get grilled cheese.
And this is what I love about it, because I agree with you. If you like cheese, there's no doubt you are going to love this. But one of the things that I loved most, well, one, I love crunchy. Like, crunchy for me is all the way. I love it on everything that I eat. And so what I was so excited about is, after getting these, and I was eating them as a snack, but then as I was researching for the show, and I started seeing them like used on other things, like to top a salad, for example. Like, I saw this example. Somebody like had it on the top of mac and cheese. I loved seeing it like served with guacamole. And so now what I love is you can definitely use this for lots of different things besides just a bar, which is so cool.
Yeah, like, it's a lot of the other baked cheese stuff out there is really thin and brittle and shatters. You can't really do much with it. Ours is definitely more versatile. So like, I don't think our jalapeno bars are spicy enough, so I put sriracha on those. I've definitely dipped them in guac. Trying to think of some of the other ones. My wife used to be a chef, so she gets really creative, sometimes too creative. She's done like chocolate and coconut on the bars,
Ooh.
which actually was surprisingly good.
I would think that that's really good. And
Yeah,
does she design the packaging?
yeah. So she helped design a package. Shout out to Culver Designs in Milwaukee. They were who we worked with. They're great. And yeah, my personal favorite is crushing it up in tuna or chicken salad.
Yeah.
I mean, cheese
That's
goes on everything. So the possibilities are endless. And if you just replace whatever you're dipping something in with cheese, if it's hummus or guacamole, it's going to be better.
It works. It's so true. This is one of the things I wanted to make sure that viewers knew too, that it said just the cheese snacks are free of nuts, sesame, soy, egg, wheat, and gluten, which is so important for a lot of people. With less than 1 gram of carbohydrates, they fit right in with low carb, keto, and Atkins diets. They are vegetarian and diabetic friendly and have as much protein as a cup of milk, which is so cool. They do not need to be refrigerated, which is super key for this kind of a product as well. And the special packaging gives the bars a shelf life of 9 months and 12 months for the minis. So, I mean, these you can take anywhere. You can, have them in your bag for work, for travel. It's really super easy, especially that they don't have to be refrigerated, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because there's sort of a shift around like, hey, yeah, it's a grab and go snack. And then the year 2020 was the year of nobody's going to grab and go anywhere. So that was a little bit of a struggle. But yeah, they're pretty bulletproof. I used to throw them in my laptop bag. I have them in sort of the glove box of my car. When I used to travel to sales stuff, I always took them with me. Especially
Linda
for me,
wants,
like I get hungry kind of easy, and beef jerky and nuts get boring.
yeah.
And so for me, that like 3 o'clock snack, like, you don't want to make a sandwich, you can't have a muffin. It's like, yeah, something crunchy and savory that works real good. And
Yeah,
also,
that's so
Judy, if
cool.
you're in Connecticut, I'm trying to get into Stop and Shop, but your best bet is probably just Amazon.
Oh yeah, Judy, order them on Amazon, super easy. I think you're a top seller on Amazon, right?
I am.
That's so cool.
That's where we
I'm
got
curious.
started.
Yeah, that's so neat. I'm curious about that. Is a top seller on Amazon simply about sales, or is there something else to the formula?
Yeah,
Just
completely
sales.
based on unit sales.
Yeah,
So
that's so cool.
each product, you have categories, and if you're the top seller in that category, you get that bestseller stamp. The Amazon's choice stamp is a little bit different. And they won't tell people. It's definitely based on volume,
Right.
but it's weird because it's just
It's
we've
Amazon.
tried to figure it out, and it's best just not to try. Thanks, Tara. I hope you like
Yeah,
them.
my friend Tara just ordered some. They're going to be in a couple of days, which is so cool.
And just as an FYI, I say this all the time and people don't believe me. If you don't like them, just message us on Amazon. We'll give you a full refund. We have 100% customer satisfaction, and people don't believe it. And Amazon throws up a bunch of lip because they're like, oh, we don't accept returns. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to make you send it back. I'll just give you the refund.
Wow.
So we want people to try them because we're that confident in the product.
See, that makes a big difference. I love that too. Now let's move into Shark Tank a little bit because it was so cool to kind of look back at your episode too. I know for you, a lot has happened since then. So it's kind of a trip down memory lane. But how did you end up on the show?
So humorously enough, really, really similar to Angie and Matt. I got an email to our our website, the info page. And I deleted it. I was like, well, this is bullshit. There's no way this is real. And they're like, oh, we think you're going to be good on Shark. And they're like, delete. And then a week later, I got another one from the same name, and it had a phone number. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. No way. But I was like, all right, I'm a sales guy. And the way I usually suss out bullshit is to call. So this girl had a number, and I just called the number. And she picked up, and I was like, because they don't have at Shark Tank emails.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, you emailed me. Like, really?
What do you want? Yeah, is this for real?
Are you trying to get my credit card information? Because I'm not giving it to you.
Right.
And it turns out, they have a production team who looks for companies that might be a good fit.
Wow.
So then you go through the process. I submitted an application, and if it wasn't for that, I would never have applied. It's just like, hey, there's no way I'm going to get it. There's no shot. I just won't bother. And then you sort of in the process, and they accept it, and then you have to do a demo of your pitch, and then do the set and all this paperwork and waivers and contracts.
Oh, wow.
I was very, very lucky to have my wife. My wife designed the set. She picked the outfit against my will.
That was the question. Who picked the outfit? So your wife. I am her friend. I'm a new friend of your wife's. I love that she did that.
So at the time, I was on stage in September of 2019. So it's the summer of 2019. My daughter's almost 2 years old. And it was a rainy summer, walking around in a Macy's. Because anyone who has little kids, it's hey, if it's raining out, you still need to walk them around before COVID anyway, in a mall or something.
Right.
And our daughter's name is Olivia. And Olivia's walking around in the men's section. And we walk across that suit. And it's in the clearance rack, of course. And my wife's like, oh my God, if they say yes, you have to wear that. It's like, no, I'm not wearing. If I get on national TV, I'm not wearing that. Yada, yada, yada. As most arguments with my wife go, I lose, and I wore that on national television.
But it was good because it was that first impact, first impression. They loved it. And we were all happy as Wisconsinites, as much as sometimes, we'd like to say, oh my God, he's wearing a foam cheese hat. But actually, we liked it.
So there's two parts of this. One, I don't think I'm going to get sued for saying this, but so before they start recording, they have you stand on a mark, you walk out and you're in front of the judges and everything, and they have to sort of get the lighting right and everything. So you're standing there in silence. You can't say anything. You can't move for half a minute, but you can see all their faces. And I'm just if I put myself in their shoes, I'm like, oh, okay, so they have a meth head who's going to pitch something called Just Cheese. This is going to be easy. Get the hell out.
No deal.
And then the other part is I get so many comments about the hat that it's you guys realize in Wisconsin, these are at gas stations. This isn't a rare custom made thing.
Right.
because people would really be like, oh my God, like, where did you get that? How did you get that made? I'm like, one, the internet. Two, it's Wisconsin. They're everywhere.
They are everywhere. So crazy. So now after you were in there, you were in the tank, you made your pitch, you were seeking $500,000 in exchange for 5% equity in the company. And one of the things that I read in an article doing some research is they said just the cheese will go down in history as one of the most fascinating bidding wars that ever transpired on Shark Tank. What was it like when that was all coming at you?
First of all, I want to know what website said that, or if it was just a random tweet that you're
Come
just pulling out
on.
as research.
I think it was.
So it was very interesting to be there and just because, so just full disclosure, there was actually one of the other sharks made an offer. They just cut it. So four of them so when Kevin was the last offer, three more came in, including Mark and Laurie, and then one other who I won't say. The basic strategy was I was going to shut up and let them negotiate with each other. You know, as long as all of them are there and trying to, okay, so clearly they're all interested now. So I have no incentive to help them. It's like, look, you guys fight it out, and then I'll respond.
Yeah.
And then the piece of paper was, I just didn't want to screw up multiplication on national television.
I was wondering everything coming at you.
Well, right. It's like, look, I can probably do this right. I'm not bad at math, but you know, why take a chance? It's like, oops, I forgot to carry a decimal, and now I'm just screwed myself. So, and I also thought for all money that would get cut. There was no way that would end up on TV, but here we are. So yeah, it was, royalty deals are, I knew that it was a possibility, but I also knew that it has to be for a low number or for a short amount of time. So when Kevin made an offer, it was like, okay, I knew right away that would never work, just basic math. Because it siphons too much money out of a business. Now, if it's for a small royalty for just a short period of time, it does make the incentives align in the short term, but it's just like, no, you know, essentially I was trying to play for time and get it so that they are offering like lower and lower and lower to the point where then maybe I can get someone to be like, hey, equity makes more sense if you're going this low.
Right. It was, let me just listen to the end here.
And respectfully say no.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wish you the best, David.
It was an interesting ride.
It was a pleasure, guys.
Saying no at the end of Mark was, it was easier than I expected, but still wasn't easy, if that makes sense. Yeah, I wanted to deal with him or Daniel. I thought those were the two best strategic fits for us. And so there you are. It's like, hey, you have no guarantees it's going to be on TV. You obviously know that if you say yes, you're probably getting on TV, but there is no guarantee. Some businesses get to yes and they don't air.
So that's interesting too. So you said no, and really when you left, you didn't even know if that was going to be on the show or not.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's part of the leverage that sharks sort of have. If you think about the strategy and the game theory behind it, that they know the entrepreneurs up there, there's a huge benefit if you go on national TV, even if you do a terrible job and everyone hates you and you're a jerk, you still get eyeballs on you. It's still just the law of large numbers. And so it's really kind of, it's a decision you have to make very consciously, is if you say no, you're increasing the chance that you never go on TV. And that's ultimately like the second biggest reason people do it.
Exactly. Now, two quick things, David, that I'm curious about. One is, having said that, do you have any regret having said no?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
so we've been very, very fortunate, especially considering all that's happened in 2020.
Yeah.
We're still growing. We're profitable.
They call it the Shark Tank bump. Did you kind of feel that right after?
Oh yeah, and so it's interesting because I'll never know what it would have been because it was different than what I expected. I knew. So first of all, we did unbelievable sales that first weekend, and then for like the rest of the month, we sold 14,000 boxes of product between airing and Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
When we literally had every SKU on Amazon at 0.
Wow.
And it obviously outstripped all of my projections. But even with my projections, I had 2 full truckloads of product that like I shipped in the week of the episode, except because of COVID and all the extra Amazon traffic, because people were panic buying in the first couple of weeks,
Right.
all the shipments got delayed.
Wow.
So like, I was like, darn it, I planned right, but
oh man.
But the ratings were probably higher because there were no sports. Right. This was like the only kind of, it's not live, but like live TV with an unexpected outcome, and everything was online.
Wow.
So we were very, very lucky that we didn't have to worry about fulfillment. We didn't have to worry about oh man, what could we have sold? We actually pretty much sold everything we wanted to, and then some. We did like 600,000 in revenue in that month.
Now, is your forgive me for asking because I didn't really read up about this part, but is your dad and other family members that were part of the original clan still around and enjoying what's been happening in the business now?
Yeah, my dad's desk is 6 feet away from mine.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we
awesome.
share the principal's office because, of course.
What's on the horizon for Just the Cheese? Anything that we should be looking out for?
So I'm pushing really hard to get us into a Costco region. That's my big one. I really want to get in Costco Midwest just because cheese in the Midwest is not a hard sell. We've partnered with Joe Thomas of UW, Wisconsin fame and Cleveland Browns. I just signed a partnership agreement with a woman named Gwen Jorgensen, who's a gold medal triathlete from Wausau, I think.
Wow.
And so it's like, hey, we view this as we're going to plan on running this business like we're going to have it forever. That it's not some little startup that we're going to sell to a private equity overlord. And so
so cool.
The environment now is very just difficult to predict. So it's like, hey, don't do anything stupid and just sort of keep doing what you're doing. And in my opinion, we make a great product, and that's 90% of the battle. So
yeah. I was going to ask you like advice that you would give to another young entrepreneur or somebody with big dreams. And I think you just answered it. Like, don't do anything stupid. Just do what you're doing. Be smart about it and do a really good job at it.
Well, now that part is more for like, hey, I've already got a business that's up and running, essentially.
Yeah, true.
When it's like really nascent startup, never been anywhere, it's like, no, you actually do have to do some risky, stupid shit to get it off the ground. Like very, very few successful businesses start from zero and it's like, oh, I didn't take any risks and it worked out great.
That's true.
I mean, don't hear that one.
I don't have a product, but I can tell you after 19 years of having a small business that I always describe it to other people. Like I feel very often, especially when you're going into something new and different, that it's like you're walking off the cliff and just hoping that you land safely and in a good spot. Oh,
yeah, that's man. Right.
Okay, 2 more quick things before we wrap up here. This has been so much fun. What is your favorite flavor?
Aged cheddar, no question.
Aged cheddar, so good. I'm going to be busting into the aged cheddar after we tune off here. And then
it was really good with beer.
With beer, yes, that's so good. I could have. That's a great idea. And here's LaTanya. She said I needed to hear that for my mobile barbecue business. I say go with the barbecue. That's great.
I like me barbecue. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, we will be watching. So how can people stay in touch, watch you, and also where to buy?
Yep. Amazon's the easiest for all of our Wisconsinites. Woodman's, Sendex, Festival Foods, Hy-Vee, Metcalf's in Madison, a few Piggly Wigglies here and there. But yeah, for social distancing purposes, Amazon is probably the easiest. And then you can follow us at CrunchyJTC on Instagram and on Twitter. And if you're really bored and just want to hear some lukewarm Green Bay Packers takes and the occasional silly meme, you can follow me at David Scharfman on Twitter.
I love it. Well, David, it's been so much fun. I appreciate you taking the time out. I know family is first, so you stepping away from story time means a lot, and I appreciate it. I am a new big fan of Just the Cheese, and I wish you and your family so much continued success. It's just so great to see this happening, and it is delicious and wonderful. And thank you again for joining us on DC Live.
No, it was my pleasure. It was fun. Thanks, David.
Take care. Be well. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. In the tank with these two amazing Hug Sleep, Just the Cheese. I'm telling you, you guys you're gonna love both. So much fun. I want to give you a few quick shout outs before we leave our time together tonight. One, stay tuned for February episodes of DC Live. Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you. I also wanted to let you know, tune in to the Morning Blend next week, Thursday, for Entertaining in Style with David Caruso, Valentine's edition. So we have a little bit of love to spread around for Valentine's on Entertaining in Style. Next week, Thursday, 9 a.m., the Morning Blend. Tune in. And then I wanted to let you know, this is going to be so fun. Oh my, we're live. Me and Adam, this is happening on Monday, February 1st. Mark this down. 8 o'clock Central Time, live on Facebook, this time on Style by DC. We are going to be having a shopping experience so that you can get your Valentine's Day gifts, and everything will be 20% off with a promo code XOXO starting on February 1st. So please, please, please join us. It is going to be, oh my, so much fun. So thanks, everybody. Thanks to my awesome guests tonight. I am so glad that you all joined us. Thanks for going online and purchasing some of our products. Hi, Diana. Good to see you tonight. Thanks, Patrick, Linda. Good to see everybody. And we will see you next time, but tune in February 1st, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, Style by DC on Facebook for Oh My, We Are Live. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.